I survived 100 days on a fragmented raft. What happens when a puzzle master gets stranded in the middle of a deadly, infinite ocean? No land, no rescue, no supplies. Just a tiny broken raft, a plastic hook, and a shark circling underneath my feet. For the next 100 days, I have one goal: survive. But I am not just surviving. I am solving the ocean like a giant moving puzzle. Every barrel floating past me is a clue. Every plank of wood is a building block. Every piece of rope, plastic, scrap, leaf, and metal has to fit into the bigger design. Because out here, one bad decision does not just waste resources. It can sink the entire run. Day one starts with almost nothing. A few pieces of wood, a tiny raft, a hook, and a shark who looks way too interested in my ankles. But if I play this right, this floating pile of trash can become something much bigger. A working base, then a 2-story raft, then a collection machine, then an ocean fortress. And maybe, by day 100, we do not just survive the ocean. Maybe we control it. So the question is simple. Can I turn one broken raft into an unsinkable ocean empire? Let's find out. Day 1. The first lesson hits immediately. The ocean is moving, but I am not. Everything I need is floating past me. Wood, plastic, leaves, barrels, scrap, food. The hook becomes my lifeline. But this is not just throwing it randomly and hoping for the best. This is a timing puzzle. The raft is drifting, the waves are moving, the debris has a path, and the hook has travel time. If I throw too early, I miss. If I throw too late, the supplies float past forever. So I start aiming ahead of the target, not at the barrel, where the barrel is going to be. That one change matters, because every missed throw costs time, and every lost barrel might be the barrel that had the rope, plastic, or scrap I needed to build the next piece of the raft. By the end of day 1, I am not rich. I am barely alive, but I have enough wood and plastic to make the raft a little bigger. And in a survival game, a little bigger means a little safer. Then the shark attacks. The first time it bites the raft, it feels personal. This thing does not just want to scare me, it wants to erase progress. The shark grabs one of the outer pieces and starts tearing it apart, and instantly, the puzzle changes. Because now the question is not just, what should I build? It is, what can I afford to lose? If I build important tools on the edge, the shark can destroy them. If I keep the raft too small, I have nowhere safe to place anything. If I expand randomly, I waste materials. So the first real strategy appears. The center is sacred. Food, water, storage, and crafting go toward the middle. The outer layer is sacrificial. That edge can take damage. But the heart of the raft has to survive. Days 2 through 5 become the water problem. Food matters, but water is the emergency. You can feel the pressure building. The thirst bar drops faster than I want. The sun is burning. The ocean is everywhere, and none of it is drinkable. So the first purifier is not just a tool, it is the first real upgrade from panic to planning. Now I need a cup. Then I need planks. Then I need to keep the purifier running. Then I need to collect more water before the next survival meter starts blinking. This is where the raft turns into a logistics puzzle. The purifier cannot be in the way. The grill cannot be too far away. Storage needs to be close enough to use quickly. And the center of the raft needs to become a tiny survival triangle. Water, food, storage, crafting, everything close, everything protected, everything reachable fast. By day 10, the raft is not pretty. It looks like floating garbage nailed together by someone under extreme stress. Which is accurate, but it works. I can collect, I can drink, I can cook, I can repair. And most important, I can think. That is when the second phase begins. Expansion. Days 11 through 25 are about building the grid. At first I was chasing resources. Now I want the raft to catch them for me. This is the difference between surviving and scaling. If I spend all day throwing the hook, I am always reacting. But if I build collection nets, the raft starts working while I do other things. So the new puzzle becomes placement. Where do the nets go? How wide should the front be? How much material can I invest before food and water become a problem again? The mistake would be building randomly. A net here, a tile there, a weird little corner because I had extra wood. No, the ocean rewards structure. So I start building a straight front line, a collection wall, a net matrix. Every piece of debris that hits the front has a chance to be captured. Wood, plastic, leaves, barrels, all caught automatically. Now the raft is not just floating, it is harvesting. This is the first moment where I feel the run change. I am still weak. The shark is still circling, but now the raft has momentum. Every minute I survive, the machine gets stronger. Then comes the first major shark attack that actually hurts. The shark bites into a crucial outer tile, and for a second, I think I might lose part of the collection system. That is when I learn another rule. Automation must be armored by design. If the nets are too exposed, the shark can damage the economy. So I start thinking like an engineer. The outside layer needs protection. The important structures need backup. The raft cannot rely on one fragile line, because in the ocean, anything important will eventually be attacked. By day 25, the raft has grown. We have food, we have water, we have storage, we have a basic collection grid. It still looks rough, but now it has a plan. And that plan is about to get much bigger. Days 26 through 50 begin with a problem I did not expect. The raft is getting crowded. Storage boxes are everywhere. Food is in one corner. Water is in another. Crafting materials are mixed together. I am stepping around tools like I live in a floating junk drawer. So the next puzzle is not survival. It is organization. A bad layout wastes time. A good layout saves lives. If I cannot find the spear when the shark attacks, I lose a tile. If I cannot find planks for the purifier, I lose water. If I cannot find food in time, I panic. So I divide the raft into zones. The front becomes collection. The middle becomes survival. The back becomes crafting and storage. Then I build upward. That changes everything. A second floor gives me space without making the raft too wide too fast. The lower deck can handle the messy work. Nets, purifiers, grills, basic storage. The upper deck becomes command space, navigation, observation, extra storage, a safer place to stand when the waves get rough. For the first time, the raft feels like more than a raft. It feels like a base. Then we see land. The first island appears on the horizon. And suddenly, the ocean survival puzzle becomes a dungeon puzzle. The island looks like salvation, trees, plants, maybe food, maybe rare materials. But the island has a trap, inventory space. I cannot take everything, so I have to make choices. Do I bring back wood, food, seeds, metal ore, scrap, sand, clay, vine goo? Every slot matters. Every trip costs time. And every minute on the island is a minute the raft is vulnerable. I drop anchor, I prepare the spear, I check food and water, then I go in. The island is not just a place to loot, it is a test of priorities. Low-value items get ignored. High-value items come back first. Anything needed for future upgrades gets priority. Because I am not just gathering for today, I am gathering for day 100. That is the difference. A beginner grabs whatever looks useful. A puzzle player grabs what unlocks the next system. By day 50, the raft has changed completely. The collection nets are working. The storage is organized. The base has 2 levels. The island trips are feeding the upgrade path. But now the ocean is about to demand something more dangerous. Diving. Days 51 through 75 are where the run gets serious. Up to this point, most of the danger has been on the surface. Shark attacks, hunger, thirst, bad layout, missed resources. But the best materials are not floating anymore. They are underwater. That means I have to leave the raft. And the moment I go below the surface, the shark has the advantage. The underwater phase is a completely different puzzle. The raft is safe only because I am on it. Underwater, I am exposed. Oxygen is limited. Visibility changes. Resources are scattered. The shark can attack from behind, and if I get greedy, I may not make it back with what I collected. So I plan the dive like a mission. First, drop the anchor. Second, check food and water. Third, equip the spear. Fourth, identify the reef. Fifth, dive in short loops. Never stay down too long. Never chase one more piece if oxygen is low. Never forget the shark. This is where the game teaches a brutal survival lesson. The ocean punishes greed. One more ore, one more scrap, one more second. That is how runs go bad. So I treat every dive as a timed puzzle. Down, collect, scan, return, breathe, repeat. The first underwater haul unlocks the next major system, the smelter. Now we are entering the metal age. Metal changes the raft. Better tools, stronger weapons, more advanced crafting, better upgrades. But the smelter creates a new problem: fuel. It needs planks, and planks are also used for cooking, purifying, building, repairing, and crafting. So if I feed everything into the smelter too aggressively, the raft can become advanced and starving at the same time. That is the mid-game trap. Upgrades feel like progress, but survival still needs basic resources. So I set a rule: never burn the last stack of wood. The smelter runs when the collection system is producing enough. Not when I am desperate. That rule saves the run, because around day 60, the shark attacks again. This time, it hits during a busy moment. I am managing food. The smelter is running, storage is filling, the raft is bigger, and the shark takes advantage of distraction. It bites into the edge. I rush with the spear. I repair. And suddenly I realize something. The raft has reached the point where chaos is the enemy. Not hunger, not thirst, not even the shark. Chaos. Too many systems, too many tasks, too many resources, too many things that can go wrong at once. So from day 60 to day 75, the mission becomes optimization. The kitchen gets cleaned up, the storage gets labeled by function, raw materials go together, food supplies go together, rare items go somewhere safe, tools stay accessible, the smelter area gets its own fuel supply. The collection nets get checked constantly. The raft starts becoming less like a pile of survival parts and more like a machine. Then we find blueprints. This is the moment the ocean survival puzzle opens up. Blueprints are not just items. They are future rooms, future systems, future power. They tell me what the raft can become. And now the end game is visible. Engines, advanced navigation, better farming, better cooking, better control. The raft is no longer just drifting with the ocean. Soon, it will move with purpose. Days 76 through 100 begin with the engine age. This is the biggest transformation in the entire run. For most of the challenge, the raft has been at the mercy of wind, current, and drift. The sail helped, but it still felt like negotiation. The ocean decided where we went. I simply adjusted. Engines change that. Now the raft has power, direction, control. This is the difference between a survivor and a captain. But engines bring another puzzle: placement, fuel, weight, steering, access, protection. If the engine room is messy, the whole raft suffers. So I designed the final layout like a true ocean fortress. The front is still the collection zone. That is the mouth of the machine. It eats floating debris and turns the ocean into supplies. Behind that is the survival deck. Water purifiers, cooking stations, food storage, everything needed to keep the player alive minute by minute. The middle becomes the command area. Steering, navigation, visibility, the place where decisions happen. The side sections become utility zones. Smelters, crafting, repairs, backup materials. The upper deck becomes the lookout and expansion platform. Crops, extra storage, observation, a place to see the ocean instead of being swallowed by it. And the engine room goes in the back, protected, organized, easy to reach. Because if the engines fail at the wrong time, the fortress becomes a raft again. By day 85, the base is no longer fragile. It has systems: food production, water production, collection, storage, crafting, navigation, propulsion, defense. It is becoming exactly what I wanted from the beginning, a floating puzzle box where every piece has a purpose. But the ocean gets one final vote. The storm arrives, the waves rise, the raft starts moving like it wants to tear itself apart. The sky goes dark, the shark is still there, the engines are running, the nets are catching debris. The water system needs fuel, the crops need attention, the storage is filling, the whole base is alive and under stress. This is the final exam, because a good fortress is not proven when the ocean is calm. It is proven when everything goes wrong at once. The shark attacks during the storm. Of course it does. I run to the edge, spear out, waves crashing, the raft bucking underneath me. For a second it feels like day one again. Small, fragile, outmatched, but this time, everything is different. The raft is wider, the important systems are protected, the storage is organized, the spear is ready, the repair materials are close, the collection nets keep working, the engines keep pushing, the fortress takes the hit, and survives. That is when the whole 100-day puzzle finally makes sense. Every boring plank mattered, every net mattered, every purifier placement mattered, every island trip mattered, every dive mattered, every shark attack taught the raft how to become stronger. Day 100. We started on a broken platform barely big enough to stand on. Now we have a floating ocean fortress, a collection wall in front, a protected survival core, a working kitchen, a storage system, a crafting zone, a smelter station, a crop area, an upper deck, an engine room, a command area, and enough structure to look out across the water without feeling helpless. This is not just a raft anymore. This is an island we built ourselves, out of trash, out of timing, out of planning, out of mistakes, and out of survival. The biggest lesson from these 100 days is simple. Survival is not just about reacting. It is about building systems before the disaster gets worse. If you wait until you are thirsty to solve water, you are already behind. If you wait until the shark attacks to think about defense, you are already late. If you wait until the storm hits to organize your raft, the ocean will organize it for you. And you will not like the result. But if you treat survival like a puzzle, everything changes. The ocean stops being random. The raft stops being weak. The debris stops being trash. Every object becomes part of a bigger answer. A plastic bottle becomes water. A plank becomes fuel. A rope becomes a tool. A net becomes automation. A blueprint becomes the future. And a broken raft becomes an empire. 100 days ago, we had almost nothing. One piece of floating wood. One hook, one shark, one chance. Now we rule the ocean. So here is my question for you. What survival world should we solve next? A frozen wasteland? A desert island? A deep sea base? A zombie city? Drop your choice in the comments. And if you want more survival challenges like this, puzzle piece that subscribe button. Because the ocean gave us trash, we turned it into a fortress. And the next challenge is going to be even harder.